Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of CAV HQ Live. I'm your host, CAV Boss, as always. I hope everybody's having a good evening. Give everybody a couple of minutes to show up. I believe it's fall is officially here. It was actually below freezing here last night. I think they're getting like snow up north. Hi there, Nasdaq. How are you doing? All right. Well, so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about our first CAV days that we had this last weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about the rules update, where we're at with that, and any questions for people that's already downloaded it. Dan from KC. All right. What country are you in tonight? It seems like every time something pops up on my Facebook feed, you're on vacation. Must be nice. Oh, sorry, my nose is itching. Been doing demo work today. Got dust. Let's see here. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm playing a little bit. You're at home today, off to St. Louis tomorrow. Wow, travel more than I do. All right, so let's see here. A couple more minutes. Holes in my hand from doing my demo work today. Okay, well, so this weekend down at Reaper Game Store down in Denton, we had our first CAV paint and play days, I guess, plural. Overall, I thought, especially Saturday, went really well. I think we ran, 9 or 10 people through the day. We had some new players show up that wanted to test things out. And we played, 2 or 3 games that we got into. I know we started at after 10 o'clock and quit about after 8 that night. Lots of people through Twitch through the day. I didn't keep up with it on as much as I wanted to Twitch-wise because I was so busy running games and playing in games. So hopefully we can do a little better on that. Yes, you did, actually. You almost was the furthest, well, you don't count me, you were the furthest person to show up. So I think it was a good day. I mean, this is our first one, and so we got to figure out what works, what doesn't work. I think next month that we'll kind of do I don't know if we'll separate them out or not. I am your ever faithful Robin. Yes, you are, James. You are my little buddy. But we'll have some more information coming up here over the next one day next week. About we want to start getting people, started building forces. And my hope is, because we have access to several tables, so, eventually, I want people to kind of, work with, if two people know that they're going to be there, to get a hold of each other outside of that or whatever, and set up a game or whatever and have stuff there to play. So get people a little more involved from that side of things. That'll make it easier on everybody. And then we're going to, so I don't know. Maybe we'll try to do kind of combine them so that maybe Sunday that we're set up to run games too, as opposed to just being a hobby day, a paint day, because we can kind of do both days. So there's a table set up for that as well. So, but we'll talk. We'll figure all that out. We did. I did get all the winners put up for the virtual painting contest. So if you had anything entered in that contest, you want to go check that and look. At the very bottom is the list of the winners. I guess I can go over that right quick here. Let's see here. Go to the Betterment. All right. But so we did 3 categories: single model unit, which had to have at least 4 models, and diorama. And we had first, second, and third place. First, and we had gift certificates for everybody that plays $50, $25, and $10. In the single model, first place went to Gray Mail. Second place went to Silent But Deadly. And third place went to Grimmer 8099. In the unit, first place went to Silent But Deadly. Second place went to Anvil 242. And third place went to Ultramarine. In the diorama, we only had, unfortunately, 2 entries. So hopefully we can get more of those next time. Apparently I need to learn how to spell congratulations. Let's see here if I can do that right quick. Let's see, sign in. All right, so let's see if we can fix congratulations so that it's actually spelled right. Okay. Okay. So they're at the bottom of where the entries were, the last post on the forums. I'll put them up on Facebook and stuff too. I just haven't got to that. So in Diorama, first place went to Dice Slinger, and Ultramarine won second place. And so third place was not awarded. So make sure if you're on there, you go look at that and follow the directions at the bottom so that you can get your gift certificates. I know everybody that I've got so far, I did get those sent out today. So you got that going for you. I hate this mouse. Ross and Todd did not enter, and James put some pictures up, but James did not want to be considered for an award. So that was that. But congratulations to everybody who did enter and win, especially. So enjoy your gift certificates. Well, hell, I was too busy to enter. You only had 2 months. That's all right. Maybe 3 months. I don't remember when I originally posted it. Yeah, August. Yeah, so August, September, all of October. Or not all of October, I'm sorry, all of September. Yes, congratulations to the winners. Okay, so we got that going. But I think overall we had a really good weekend as far as playing, and I had a good time. I did set up the Memphis board, so I'll do something different next time. I kind of got inspired by your board, Tiger Wraith. I liked how you set that up, so I may try to do my version of that. If I'm trying to get my mine board done. That's what I painted on Sunday. I worked on parts for it. For my shanty town. Also, we are going to start stocking battle mats from Deep Cut Studio. We'll have some information about that next week. So I'm really looking forward to bringing those in. They have some really, really nice mats. Those are the ones that I normally get. It's a company over in England that does those. So thank you, JS Twitch, for the donation of the subscription. I need to finish all the emotes. We have some more emotes we can add now. I just haven't got around to doing it. Imagine that. Okay. So anything, James, that you want to jump in about the weekend? We had a good time, though. Had a good time. And the facility is top notch. I mean, the tables are nice. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of light. Temperature was nice. I mean, it was so fun to be there. So, and everybody that showed up bought something, so that's great. That shows support to the store. It makes it easier when we want to do things like this. Now, let's see. What else? It was a hoot. Yeah, no, 10 hours is quite the deal. But, if you plan ahead a little bit, it's a weekend kind of thing. We're down there Friday night. Well, and that's good too. Needs more light to see the models. Needs more light to see the models. I guess I don't understand. I thought that there was plenty of light in the retail area. Well, yeah, no, that's that they are going to be adding more lighting in that area. Apparently, that the building just is got done, and I guess there are some ordinances involved as far as when you're trying to get your occupancy deal or whatever. So they've got to go in and add more lights. I know that I'm putting a neon, kind of a fake neon sign together to put over where yeah, but when they're going to add more lights, it'll be hung down a little lower. So they'll get it there. But also, can we get a spatha emote? I will try. I will see if we can do a spatha. I think we can do like animated ones too. I wonder if we can get a little spatha going across. Pew, pew, pew. That'd be kind of funny. Or a CAV marching across. Let's see. Hi, Hobby with Tim. How are you? Sorry, saw you sneak in there. They're going to be the mouse pad. We may set it up so that you can special order if there's a particular one that you want or whatever. The main problem is we have to order so many at one time to make it work. So it's not like I can special order one in without it costing you extra. So, whereas we'll be able to, we're going to stock. I'm going to start off first. We're just going to stock, like the 2 or 3 of the basic boards, the grasslands and things like that. Maybe a city map. I don't know. I'm still kind of pulling up the list, figuring out what I want to bring in. There's 2 or 3 on there, new ones that I want too for my collection. So I saw a couple that gave me some really good ideas. Well, like I said, make sure to remind me. I'll let you know when I'm doing the order, and I'll get them in for you. So we'll figure out how we're going to get it all set up. All right. So one thing I did want to talk about a little bit was the rules update. It has not officially dropped because I am trying to finish the appendixes with the essays and stuff. It's just trying to get the layout done, and this weekend got in the way, and I'm running behind as usual, but it's coming here in just, if I don't get it out by Friday, it will be out after the weekend. But we did put up a preview version up on Discord that you can download, and don't print that yet or anything like that, because that is not the final version. That is a preview. There's some typos I'm still fixing, and a couple of the things that I caught afterwards. So make sure don't make that the official don't print that out yet. But there was a conversation that came up on the forums talking about indirect fire. And so I kind of wanted to go over indirect fire again and make sure that everybody got that on there. And then, if they want to come and watch this stream, they can and get a better idea. So indirect fire, obviously, does not require a line of sight. You don't actually have to be able to see the model because you are not targeting the model with indirect fire. When you indirect fire, you're targeting a point on the game board. So, through the battle net and through satellites overboard, you have coordinates, you know where a certain area is, and you know that there are enemy models in there for you to pick. So usually a model, it will correspond with there being a model there, but you're actually aiming at a spot on the ground. So when you do a target lock, you're actually target locking that area of the ground. You're not target locking the model. So let's say you are a recon model and you target that spot for indirect fire. You cannot pass on a target lock to that model to somebody to direct fire because you didn't target lock the model, you're target locking the spot on the ground. Now, James, and this is something you brought up here, I wanted to talk to everybody about a little bit too. So, hi, Enzingzo. How are you doing? Just butchered that name, Ringzo. Sorry. In the past, and I guess hasn't been specifically addressed. It is going to be here. It's going to be part of the update. I'm going to fix that deal. So I have always played, and with if you fire multiple rockets at a spot and you miss your strike point, we've always done drift separately for each one. It cuts both ways. So if you just use one drift roll, so let's say like the Tiamat is firing all four heavy rocket 20s. So if you roll a single drift roll and that drift roll scatters and lands on a new spot with a new model, he gets creamed by all four heavy rockets. Well, Tiger, can wait just a second. That's what I'm trying to get into, okay? So that is the way we've always done it, is we've always just, we've done four separate drift rolls. So obviously the odds of maybe hitting different people are increased because you're doing it four times. I'm really indifferent to how we do it. I obviously on a time factor to make the game go quicker, if you roll a single drift and that's where all of them land, and there could be an argument made that if they were all going to land on one spot anyway, they should land on one spot again, as opposed to being four different areas. We've always done it four different ways just because that's the way we've always done it and never really caught that people were doing it one way or the other or different than we were. So what's your opinion of that? Would you, I think after our conversations over the weekend and everything like that, I think we probably should make it a single roll. Yeah, and just do, obviously if you're the guy on the wrong end, no, that's what I'm saying. You're not really off base. There is an argument that says, the rockets were going to land in the same spot anyway, so obviously they probably should land in the same spot if they drift. It's just one of those things, it's never come up before. We just always, it's not overly defined, I guess, specifically in the rules with an exact terminology. So that's what I'm going to fix. But I think it seems like that's the way everybody's been doing it, other than me, is making a single rule for drift. So yes. Now the individual models will still get a single drift. So if you have 4 different models shooting at the same spot or whatever. Yeah. And that's kind of the way we kind of looked at it. So multiple rolls allow for more chance to cause chaos. It's just, you never knew where they were going to come landing. But like I said, the argument can be made for doing it with one roll and also on a time factor. Because when this came up on Saturday, we had both a Tiamat and a Rasian that was firing. So on any given turn, we had 8 rocket 20s coming down. So if in a single turn, if they both miss, we roll drift 8 times. So obviously that is a time consideration for multiple models. Yeah, well, it sounds better than it was, because we couldn't roll a strike point if our life depended on it. They had no helpers, so it was literally, we were just picking a point and dropping it. Yeah, I mean, the Rasian and the Tiamat, I mean, they're basically the same thing. They're 4 heavy rocket 20s. So the Rasian just looks a lot cooler, in my opinion. So I think I will update the update so that going forward, we're all on the same page. So we'll just roll a single drift roll, and if that's where you happen to be, it could. That's what I'm saying. It just depends on what you're trying to do. I'm indifferent either way, because it's not a matter of, it's not fixing one thing or the other. It's both of them have a plus and a minus. If you roll one drift roll and you're the guy that's on the bottom, go away. I'm talking into my mic. Get my train of thought. It's a short train. But like I said, I'm indifferent either which way, because like I said, if it sorry. Oh, it's been a day. Oh, gotta love it. All right. Well, we can't really leave it up to the players. I mean, if that's the way you want to play it, I have to clarify the rule. So, like I said, the rule is going to be a single drift roll per model, per unit, or per model. Sorry. That way, it's a time factor. It saves up. They are rockets. There are 2 separate weapon systems in the game. There are guided missiles and there are rockets. Rockets are the only indirect fire. Missiles are direct fire. I know it says that in the book, but that was changed back in the errata. That was an errata problem. Yeah, howitzers, artillery is indirect fire. Technically, the infantry mortars are indirect fire. Indirect fire does not require a target lock. Guided missiles always require a target lock. Well, the main difference with guided rockets is generally they're aimed at one target. They're on one target. So this is more of the scatter is more of the chaos factor. And it depends on the system that you're dealing with. Obviously MSRL's rockets are obviously more guided, more so than anything, but especially like the Russian rockets with the CAV, basically the tubes. There is those rockets land everywhere. Yeah, I could make you the most accurate artillery rules that you've ever had. You will hate me at the end of it, but it is what it is. Obviously, we have to give up a lot of reality for the sake of making a game that we can play and have fun at. So, like I said, that's just so that you know, you're on here. If you fire and miss your strike point and you drift, we're just going to make one drift roll, and that's where everything lands. And if you're the guy that happens to be in that spot, I'm sorry. Let's see. Chain fire pod. Does it require you to target lock the map to share the strike point? I believe so. I believe for chain fire pod, in order to do that, it requires a target lock. Let me go back up here. There was another question. Yes, GM's guided missiles can use tag. So artillery can, or rockets can too if you are using semi-guided rockets. Let's see. I thought there was one more question that I was trying to get back around to. Sorry, I'm mumbling to myself. This is my good quality mic. It's the mic I've been using. You're talking about my Rode, the big one or whatever. I haven't used it for a while. I've got that Rode mic, but I haven't used it for a long time because it was getting in the way. I got to redo my overhead so that it works. The main problem is not the mic; it's me, because I don't talk in a consistent voice and I forget that I'm needing to talk to a mic. All right, so indirect fire. You have a basic strike point that if you miss that strike point, then you have drift. The modifiers that apply, you have to look at modifiers for indirect fire are split two ways. Number one is any modifier that needs or helps the rockets get on target are applied to the strike point roll. So, like if you have line of sight actually to the spot, the target lock, Wizzo. I don't have the sheet right here in front of me to go down the list again. If you look in the rules section where we're talking in the forums, I did a little better job of listing everything there. Then any modifier that applies to an actual rockets hitting the target, as opposed to once they're actually there and hitting a model, are applied to the combat roll. So if you have any cover, any light or heavy cover, that affects the combat roll, because the base combat roll for indirect fire is always a 6. So that number will go up and down depending on those modifiers. So if you have double time, that gets applied to the combat roll. So now 6 goes to an 8. If you have light cover as well, then it goes to a 9. If you have salvo, then those numbers will go down. If you're stationary, that's where that modifier is applied, is to the combat roll. But that is the only time that you have to make 2 rolls. So you roll first for the strike point, and you roll secondly for the combat roll if there's anybody in the AOE where the rockets actually land. So, and like chain fire pod modifiers, fire control systems, all those apply to the strike point roll. Now, something that gets missed and skipped sometimes is APA does not affect a strike point or combat roll for indirect fire. APA modifiers apply to direct fire only. Just an FYI. But I'm like I said, I'm paying attention to topics. I've been trying to catch some of the stuff on Discord. Like I said, as we go through, I mean, that's the purpose of this, the rules update being a PDF for the next 2 or 3 months. I'm going to tweak it. I'm going to fine tune it based on feedback from you guys. The main thing that you'll see, if you had a chance to look at it, is the way that we're applying. There is no more 10 plus rolls. So strike point actually has a base start number, 9, 10, 11, and 12 for their range. That figures those old modifiers already into it. Another question that came up, and I think that we've updated on that too, is if you need all right, let's say you're wanting to shoot somebody with indirect fire, and you need a strike point of 13 or better, or you're shooting somebody with a MAC, and you need a 13 or better in order to hit. You cannot make that roll. Then there is no roll at all, because if you do not have a legal number before you make a roll, there is no roll. You can't count on a critical or a blaster or something like that to help you hit. So keep that in mind. Like I said, if you do not have a legal number after you apply all your modifiers, then you do not make a combat roll or a strike point roll. Correct. You only do an ammo check if you critical fumble on the strike point roll. They get kind of applied separately on this as far as, so a critical success on a strike point roll does you no good, because you have to have had a 12 or less in order to be successful. So while a critical success would allow you to roll another D6, it does you no good because you had to have a 12 to begin with, at least, or at worst case. Critical fumble on the strike point roll does cause the ammo check, needless to say, and also you have the opposing player gets to pick a new strike point. Now, on the combat roll, a critical success does add another D6, whereas a critical fumble is just strictly a miss. But what I was getting ready to say about target points, because like I said, there are no more 10 plus rolls. Everything is condensed down to a target point. And so you're always rolling against a target point, whether it's an opposed roll or a single roll or whatever. And all modifiers increase or decrease that target point. So actuality now, negative modifiers are good, positive modifiers are bad. Because you want your target point as low as you can get it anytime you have to make a roll. But that way, everything gets done the same way. Everybody is looking at it the same way. There's not one way or this way or whatever. It all works the very same. But you do not necessarily want to be at the final point of 4 heavy rocket 20s. That can be ugly. Oh, and the other thing that came up was blocking cover. Or you can kind of call it a dead zone or a shadow or whatever you want. So if you have blocking cover, if you are within 1 inch of a level 3 or taller building or a level 3 cliff face or anything like that, not trees, anything like that. This is solid cover, so like a building or a deal or whatever. You cannot be hit by indirect fire. Obviously, you cannot be hit by direct fire because there is no line of sight because of blocking cover. But if you are within 1 inch of blocking cover, regardless of how tall somebody else is on a hill or whatever, you cannot be hit by indirect fire, even if it drifts or you aim behind him and catch him in the AOE. So by the same token, you cannot shoot. If you are up against 1 inch within blocking cover, you cannot indirect fire. You cannot direct fire. The main thing to remember to help you visualize that is the fact that, contrary to what some people think, rockets aren't this. Okay? They're more this. So even if you're trying to target an area behind the model, the blocking cover is going to intercept rockets that are going to hit him. So that is the one safe spot you can get on a board. If there is a level 3 blocking building or hill or whatever, and you're looking for a safe spot, that is the safe spot to get. Correct. Yes, just so to clarify that, it's the line of fire. Yeah, it's the line. So if somebody's off to the right or to the left or behind you, obviously you can still shoot. It's if the line of sight line crosses the blocking cover, that's what is the deciding factor on being shot or you shooting somebody. And cover is always that way. Cover is always based upon where the line of sight line draws. Whether you have line of sight or not, it's still the same line. So, a classic example would be, let's say you're standing behind a level 2 heavy cover object, okay? So if that line of sight crosses that edge of that hill within that 1 inch of you, then you get that heavy cover, okay? But if the guy that's shooting at you is off to the side and that line does not cross that hill, where you're within 1 inch of it, then you don't get the cover. You don't get that cover automatically. As I know, there are some out there that would move base to base to blocking cover and say you can't attack. Yeah, no, I mean, it shows that in the rules. It's based upon where the line between the two models, going from center to center, crosses the cover. That's what it does. Correct. Models do not block line of sight as either. If you salvo your rockets and roll a fumble, a miss is just a miss. A CAV can get light cover behind a level 1 vehicle, yes, or a prone CAV if you're within 1 inch. I don't know that vehicle will appreciate the fact that you're using him for cover, but yes, you can. Yeah, a prone CAV or a vehicle can provide light cover if you're within 1 inch of it. And line of sight crosses the vehicle. And then if you were doing an indirect fire and you were aiming at the spot underneath the CAV would receive light cover, but the vehicle would also get a combat roll against it because it's within the AOE. Can a CAV gain cover from another standing CAV? No, because a stand-up CAV of the same level. So same reason a vehicle cannot get cover from another vehicle. You cannot get blocking cover. I mean, that's basically where the difference is. You cannot get blocking cover from another model. Yeah, I mean that's where it splits. You can still get cover, you just can't get blocking cover. But CAVs get, since they're both the same level, you can see both CAVs and they don't gain any cover. So there's no little trying to hide your, or a rhino behind a cougar. No, calves are considered big enough that you just can't get exactly behind each other. I guess if you were trying to play inaccurate, I mean, it would be possible to park a con up behind an emperor and probably be able not to be seen, but for the sake of gameplay, that's how we're going to do it. Okay. Where to now? What else do you want me to talk about tonight? We got 10 minutes. Like I said, if I do not have the rules update ready for release by this end of this week, it will be out by next Monday. November releases. Actually, we're trying to work on October releases. I don't know that we're going to make October. We are trying. Next gathering at Reaper is the weekend, I believe, before Thanksgiving. Let me look here. Let's see, November. Yeah, it'll be the 19th and 20th. All right, so the October release, and I think we listed this at one point, but so we're looking at the Mastodon, we're looking at the Akula, we're the Vindicator, finally. I think we remastered it. So I think those are the three that we're shooting for October. And the Mastodon kit will allow you to build the Mastodon, the Mammoth, and the Elephant. I'm relatively sure the Mastodon will be the biggest model that we've done and will probably do. I don't know if necessarily height-wise, but certainly width-wise. I mean, it's a big model. I'm trying to get the masters done. It just between everything going on as usual, we're running behind. I know. Yeah, I know the Pillager and Kodiak aren't small, but I believe the Mastodon's going to be, in volume, going to be bigger. I think, too, the Mastodon, I believe, has a crew of 3. So it's one of the few models that have more than 2 people in it. There might be a updated card for a special that it has because of that. Possibly. Maybe. Who knows? Because, obviously the Mastodon is an artillery model, whereas the Mammoth and the Elephant are both attack models, I believe. I don't think one's a fire support. I think they're both attack models, and then the Mastodon is a fire support. He's going to be nasty. He's going to be a big boy. But it'd be nice to be able to build multiple models for it. So Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure that the card's correct on that anyway, because I don't remember when we originally did that, if we took into account the new Ultra SA or not. CAVCon 23 rules, not there yet. I'm trying to get the update done. It will be calves and vehicles, if that helps. Plus, with the new update, you'll be able to use a provisional squad and stuff. So there'll be some new. The fact that you can start off with a secondary squad as well. Well, like I said, we'll get better as we go. I know that the camera was further from where they were kind of more teaching. It did better in the second half of the day because we were closer when we were playing on the Memphis board. I did mean to try to spend more time answering questions and following that. I think as we get more people to participate and kind of take lead, where I have a little more back off time where I can do that, it will help, and we will do better. We are learning as we go what's going to work best. I am going to be getting that loaded up onto YouTube as well tonight after we're done. I just have to leave the computer going, and it's going to take a while to load that one up. The question I have, I mean, obviously, was the camera picking up sound pretty good? I know we were just using the mic on the camera rather than a separate mic or whatever. The sound was good. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty high-end camera that I was using, so it does a pretty good job on that. Hobby with Tim. Has anybody expressed an interest in CAV for TTS? We actually have a section on Discord where we have talked about that, and nobody. I have not had time to work on it, so somebody else needs to kind of run with that. And it was, we'd be able to provide, models for it as far as whatnot, but we need somebody that knows what the hell they're doing with TTS. It is on my list to do, but it is further down on the list. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Tim, are you planning on coming up to Millennium Con next month in Round Rock? Yeah, well, we'll be there for the whole show, so I'll have a table set up as well. But anyway, all right. Well, we have hit the 9 o'clock time. Any last comments, questions that you need me to jump into before I call it a night? Time to get back and get to working on the update, doing more layout work tonight before I go to bed. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for being here. I plan I'll be back next Wednesday night, hopefully. If there's something you want me to cover during a stream or whatever, make sure, hit me up on Facebook, hit us up on Discord, hit us up on the forums. Let me know. That way I can have a little more cohesive thought for you. So other than that, have a good night. CAV on. I'll see y'all later.